The cult, the first steps. A little background: we have been together 15 years, married 14, and have 2 boys 15 and 11. We got married very young and have struggled financially and had some bumps in our relationship, but nothing every relationship goes through from time to time. She had a Facebook relationship about 4 years ago that included dirty talk. We struggled through that and came close to divorce over a 2-year period. For the last 2 years we were able to be more open with each other, and she has admitted that she had never been in love with me, but she does love me very much. We are best friends and have been a beacon to our friends of a good relationship and doing what it takes to make it work. I have known that she felt like something was missing and have always done everything I can to be there for her. She started college in January and is working toward her dream career. She will be done a couple years before our youngest graduates. Since we had kids so young, we have been talking about how nice it will be that she will have a good career too, and we will be able to move wherever we want and begin our life together. She has really seemed content in her life. She got a message on Facebook from her ex-boyfriend last week. They dated for 2 months, 17 years ago, but besides me it was her longest relationship. He is a cop and is moving to be closer to his kids and needs to list all of his ex-girlfriends on his application. She was upfront with me about it, and I joked that he is just trying to find her to try and get back with her. She said, "No way, he has young kids and I don't want that." She chatted with him a little on Facebook and didn't hide any of it, just innocently filling each other in on their lives. I had a bad feeling though. He was going to be in town on an interview and she said they wanted to meet for coffee and to catch up. I expressed my concern and she insisted that I have nothing to worry about, that she is committed to us and nothing will happen. So, they meet up for about 2 hours a week ago Friday. Saturday, she spent at home studying for finals this week while me and the boys hung out at our friend's house. Sunday, she spent studying and me and the boys hung out at the house. She texted him a bit and again was upfront that they were texting and shared some of the things they talked about. Having been through this before, my gut was telling me that something was wrong, so I checked our phone records and found that they had spent 2 straight hours texting on Saturday, and when I checked her phone, she had deleted them. So, I asked her on Monday night if I could look at her texts with him. I could tell by the look on her face that we were in trouble. Apparently, in the 2 hours they spent together at a local coffee shop, she realized that he is her one true love and is ready to throw away our 15-year relationship. I told her that I can't keep doing this and that if she needs to explore her feelings for him, then we are done. Either she wants to be with me or she doesn't. She said she didn't think she could feel like this about anyone and had resigned herself to the fact that she wouldn't and was okay with that. She was prepared to spend the rest of her life with me and the life we had built, but she can't ignore this. I told her that if that is her stance, then we are done and she needs to move out. Of course, she won't and won't leave the kids. We have been living on my income alone for the last year, so are not in a good position financially. She received some inheritance money last year from her grandma and used that to get her chest job and a cruise for the family at the end of this summer and her schooling. Of course, she won't use it to move out. She is going to get a job now that school is out, but until she is able and we can figure out how to handle all of this, she will still be living with me. She tells me that he is trying to be respectful. I told her that if he was being respectful, he wouldn't be trying to date a married woman, but according to her he feels the same as she does. He is in a relationship that is less than a year old, so he isn't giving up much to make this happen. I told her that I do not want her meeting up with him while she is living in my house. I will not have my wife dating while I am still supporting her. There isn't much I can do about them talking on the phone and texting. She said they will not make it physical until our divorce is final, but will continue to talk to him. I told her she is trying to have her cake and eat it too. She is able to get to know him and see if it is real while having the comfort of living with me. If she and he were truly respectful and honorable, they would cease all contact until she can move out and our divorce is underway. Of course, she doesn't see it that way. The fact of the matter is, I can't force her to leave the house, and she has money she can use on a lawyer, and so does her mom, so if I force the situation, she can destroy me. If I play along, we will probably be able to work this out without lawyers, but I am stuck living with her until she gets out. What do I do? Last time this happened, the relationship fizzled out and she came to her senses. This may be triggered by the fact that she is turning 35 and just started school again, trying to reclaim some feeling from the past. She has befriended a 21-year-old girl from school who she has talked to about her new relationship. Of course, this girl is happy for her and tells her she isn't doing anything wrong. She is also talking to her mom, who supports her. She hasn't told her dad because she knows he will tell her she is being an idiot and throwing away the best thing in her life. We both agreed that we would tell the kids together. We are going to wait until they get out of school. What do I do if I can't afford a lawyer? Half of the money in the bank is zero. Her inheritance is hers and cannot be touched by me even in divorce. She has been paying for her own school and paid for her chest. I have zero money for a lawyer and no family to borrow from. After their 2-hour meeting, she called her mom crying because she knew how she felt about him, and her mom told her to keep it quiet for as long as possible. Still, she figures things out. They both have money and will be able to hire a really good lawyer. I can shut off her phone. That will save some money. I will also shut off the cable and internet, not necessary, and the internet connection is another avenue for her to contact him. He lives 3 hours away and hasn't been back here since their first visit, but they talk on the phone every day for 2 to 3 hours. The only thing we will be dividing is debt and custody. This is all so overwhelming. I don't sleep, I don't eat, and can barely focus on work. Comments. You seem a little in the fog. You write that your wife has really seen content in her life. You also tell us that she recently went back to college, got a boob job, has told you she never felt in love with you, and that you know she felt something was missing. The signs were all there. Sometimes it's tough to see them in the day-to-day hustle and bustle, but surely you can see now that your wife was not at all content. I think your wife was planning to leave you sooner or later. Then this guy came along and she figures now is as good a time as any. She's not getting any younger, and she certainly does not want to spend the rest of her life in a marriage to someone she never was in love with. As for you, if I were in your shoes, I would have been extremely angry. I know you have 2 wonderful children to show for it, but your wife married you under false pretenses. What kind of person marries someone they are not in love with, then tells them about it 14 years later in the overall cold manner in which she did this to you? She used you for whatever her reasons were, but she is not a good person to have lied to you about such a basic premise of marriage, being in love with the person you are marrying. In a way, she robbed you of a decade of your life. The first thing you should do is stop engaging with her about this guy. Talk to her only about the kids and the divorce settlement. Be pleasant with her, but also work up a little anger over how she has treated you from day one by lying to you either directly or through omission about being in love with you when she married you. OP responds, where do I begin? Yes, I saw the message he sent about having to list her on the application. He commented about how he looked up the girl he dated before her and she did not age well, but my wife did. She is not normally a naive person, but she took this line of BS hook, line, and sinker. I knew better and told her so. Should I call his superior and report him? Call departments he is applying to as well. As for her boob job, she wasn't going to do it. I told her she should. She used to be a D, but after 2 kids and a lot of weight loss from a long sickness, she just had rocks and socks. She always wanted to get a lift so she would feel better about herself, and I support that. So, when she got the money, I told her to go for it. She didn't go big. In fact, most people can't even tell she had anything done. Unfortunately, I think that has given her the confidence she needed to walk out. I think she would have stayed till she got through school so she would be supported, then she would have bounced. This crap just sped it up. Her grandma had a family trust and the lawyer, and her mom made sure that all the inheritance money went into a separate account. As long as she never mixed it with our joint account, it remains hers even in divorce. She has used it to get her boobs, new clothes. She spent thousands on Christmas for the family, her school, and booked a cruise for the 4 of us. We have never been able to take our kids on a real vacation. That is coming up in August, and she has already paid for it, over $8,000. She has not been selfish with her money but won't use it now to move out and support herself. I have stopped talking to her about the scumbag. She has password protected her phone and changed the password on her computer now, so I am going to tell her that she is coming off my cell phone plan and she needs to get her own. We also had a trip to NY planned, leaving this Friday. I am not going. She will be gone for 11 days, in which time I will open a new bank account and change my direct deposit to that account. I will only put enough money in the joint account to cover the bills that come out automatically. I will have a lot of time to spend with the boys and detach. The boys do not know anything is going on. We are going to sit down together and tell them after she gets back. I got home yesterday and took down all the pictures of us together that are in the house except for a few that the boys would notice. She didn't say a word about it. She came home last night crying because her grandma is on her deathbed. Our oldest gave her a hug and said he was sorry, and I'm sad to say so today. It was just a brief hug, but I'm trying to keep up appearances for the boys until we tell them. I'm sure I missed some things I wanted to address from your posts. I will add more later. I found his girlfriend on FB. She lives closer to us than him, so they are in a long-distance relationship, but she drives the 150 miles to see him on a regular basis. In fact, she went and picked up his kids from his ex and drove back to his house so he could meet with my STBX. I'm pretty sure she didn't know why he had her do that. He was here doing physical tests for the application process at several departments and was supposedly doing a ride along. She probably just thinks he was busy with that. I keep going back and forth. Should I let her know what is going on? So far all they have done is talk and text. My STBX says that he is going to tell her after some family reunion they have coming up because he doesn't want to disturb it. My STBX is so delusional. It's really unlike her to be like this. Last night I asked her about a small amount of money she took out of our joint account and asked her why she used it for something for herself. She flipped out and started throwing all the instances where she has spent her money on me and the family, and how for the last year she has used her own money to buy the things she needs for herself. I pointed out that since she doesn't want to be my wife anymore and is dating another man, that the money in our joint account is only to be used for family expenses and anything for her. She needs to use her own money. This infuriated her. She doesn't think there is anything wrong with her phone relationship with this guy. I told her she is in a long-distance relationship. That's how people do long-distance relationships. She just sees it as two friends talking. She said she has told her dad what is going on, and according to her he is dealing with it and just wants her to be happy. I doubt she told him about the other man, probably just the way she is feeling. It is very clear that this marriage is over and there is no hope of salvaging it. Not that I even want to. My head has been telling me it is time to move on, but my heart hasn't wanted to let go of the love I have felt for her for so long. If we can keep things civil, we should be able to do this as an uncontested divorce and keep the lawyers out of it. We both want shared custody and agree that it is best if the boys stay in the schools they are in and we disrupt their lives the least. She is saying that since we will be sharing custody, there should be no need for child support from me, but I can see at least having to pay for one of the boys. The hard part is that until she finds a job, she is stuck living with me and won't move out and won't leave the boys. She met with the job resource counselor at the college to get help with her resume and the job hunt. I am hoping this trip will give us the time and distance we need to get this moving faster. She is going to file when she gets back and we will sit down and tell the boys together. I only ask about living together after divorce because most likely she will not be in a position to move out before the divorce is final. We can set it up so that we each have a room and live like roommates. Just wondering if that is even possible. She is in NY now. I went and talked to her dad about all of this. She did tell him everything, well, almost everything. She told him about the other man now but didn't tell him about the last 6 years and what she's done before. He is devastated and told her she is making the biggest mistake of her life. He supports me and tells me that fighting for our marriage is fine, but I need to get a lawyer. I am getting one today. I know ultimately she is his daughter and he will eventually accept whatever she chooses. She left on Friday and I have had very little contact with her since, none since Saturday. She called Saturday night because I had gone to a funeral for a close family friend and she was worried about me. I told her how it went and told her about all the people that said hi to her but kept it very matter of fact and haven't talked or texted her since. I looked at her email and found an email she sent the OM while waiting at the airport. She was professing her love for him and talked about how she feels about him. She openly talked about them getting married and their future together. She is fully head over heels in love with this guy. The things she said to him I have never gotten from her. I don't think this is a fog she is going to come out of. This is how she feels and doesn't feel this way about me and never will. It is very clear to me now that I need to move on. This relationship is over. I am calling a lawyer today and am preparing myself for what is to come. The pain in my heart is greater than anything I have ever experienced. I live in a no-fault, community property state. My take on this is that I want her to file. I made a vow and intended to stand by that vow. If she wants out, she can file. As long as I don't lose any upper hand, I'd have by filing. She has not moved out. We had planned this trip to New York over a month ago. It was to be the longest trip we have ever taken as a married couple. We had so many fun activities planned and time with her extended family. Even after D-Day, she still said she wanted me to go. She wanted to share this experience. I asked her if she could commit to not call or text the OM while we were there. She thought about it for a day and came back and said she couldn't commit to that. But she'd make sure I didn't see her doing it, because she didn't want to flaunt it in my face. I told her that if she wanted to go on the trip with me, then she wouldn't share it with him too. This time apart is helping me detach. She is not in New York with the OM, she is visiting family. I know I am not to blame for her cheating. I am just saying that I am aware of what I have done to bring our relationship to this point. I know that she is to blame for her affairs. I talked to a lawyer today. I explained what is going on and he said that I gain nothing legally by filing and that as long as she is willing to work out the details without a lawyer and agrees to joint custody, then I should play ball. If she starts to get nasty and go back on what she has agreed, then he can get involved. He said that what I detailed is ultimately what they try to accomplish. I am going to play along with her while protecting myself and stay completely disconnected. If things start going south, I will retain the lawyer. At this point, I don't want her back. The only way I would even consider it is if she came to me begging to take her back, and even then, it would be based on some very different dynamics in our future relationship. I just got off the phone with the lead hiring manager for one of the departments he is applying. She said that his actions are not those of someone they want on their force and he is at a stage of the process where she can disqualify him without reason. One down, a few more to go. She was very nice and did confirm that they asked for basic info on all previous relationships and looked up his application and confirmed that he did list my wife but said he didn't have her contact info. She also backed up info I received from another cop, that even if I went to his current department, since it is very small, they likely wouldn't do anything since he isn't meeting up with her while he is on duty. I am waiting for responses from more departments so I can blow his job search out of the water. Don't get me wrong, I want nothing more than for my marriage to be saved and work, but I know it cannot work the way it has been for the last 6 years. My parents have been married 50 years, my sister 25 years, my brother 24 years, and my other brother 16 years. I come from a family that believes in marriage and works to keep them happy. My wife and I have been through a lot, early on in our marriage and at a young age. I stood by my wife through her darkest hours and literally nursed her back to health both physically, mentally, and emotionally. That is why it hurts so bad to have her pull this on me. There will always be a part of me that will hold out hope, and if that time comes, I will accept her back, but with stipulations and boundaries. She said she would file and carry the majority of the financial burden that will entail, so right now I am trying to decide how long I will give her to follow through. I am thinking 2 weeks from the day she gets back. If she has not filed, I will. Between that and the pain I am currently heaping on that if she doesn't come to her senses, she never will. Her grandma was married like 8 times and her mom is on her 3rd marriage that she is about to walk away from. Both of them either chose the wrong men or just got bored and wanted something different. My wife has been married to me for longer than either of them had ever been married to one person, and she knows she has in her family and has fought to not be like them. The last couple days have been pretty good. I feel like I am gaining the strength to get through this, but I still have some bad times. I am already dreading her coming back. It has been nice without her and spending time with my boys. I have stopped checking up on her and am just focusing on myself. The things she has said to him about her feelings really hurt. I would almost feel better if it was just physical and she just needed to scratch an itch. The emotional connection she thinks she has and her declaration of love is very painful, especially when she says that she has never felt that for me. I am not a wealthy man and we have struggled financially our entire marriage, so I know it is not my money she has stayed for. We have just been one of those couples that are very compatible and enjoy each other's company and have always found a way to be happy even without money. She was a very caring person and always helping others, always looking for the good in people and giving them the benefit of the doubt. She still displays some of those qualities to others, just not me. I don't recognize this selfish creature who used to be my wife. There is no way I want to while she is like this, and I don't see her changing. I'm rambling and need to get some work done. I can make it difficult for him to get a job here, but there are dozens of departments he can go to, so it's not like I can completely block him. The ones I know for sure he has applied at are taken care of, and they are the closest ones to me. I did get some info from a VAR. Nothing major or physical or pointing to them meeting up. Again, he is 150 miles away, so they are just talking about their lives and stories from their past, for now. Yes, she is with family, but I don't know all of them. I have only met a few. Her female cousins are crazy women who sleep around, so they won't be much help. The cousin she is staying with came out of the closet a couple years ago and blew away a 20-plus year marriage with 3 kids, so he won't be much help either. I know him and he really likes me, but he was living in a marriage he didn't want and is happy he got out, so he can totally relate to her. Not much help there either. Her mom hit me up last night offering to take the boys off my hands this weekend so you can have some time to yourself. I declined and told her we were having a great time together. I wouldn't doubt if she was trying to set me up. I came across an email from her to a guy friend of ours that I know she has confided in before. They haven't talked or seen each other in at least 9 months. This is how she is presenting it to the people she has told. So, you know, I've had issues with the way I feel about H for a long time now. A few weeks ago, I got a notification on FB from my high school BF. He sent me a friend request. I accepted and he sent me a message saying he is applying to a number of law enforcement facilities in our area, and some of them wanted extensive background info, including XGF, and wanted to know if I'd be okay with giving him that info. Sure, no problem, happy to help. Told H about it, and we started catching up. He was going to be in town for an interview and wanted to meet up. Sure, fine, love to. Told H he was a little concerned, but in talking to OM, I learned he had 2 kids from his previous marriage, and that is a deal breaker for me. I do not want any more kids. So, we met up and I was hit by a Mack truck when I discovered that I still had very strong, very real feelings for him. I was blown away. I had no idea I could even feel like that. Turns out, he feels the same. He didn't expect it either. I didn't touch him, but almost cried when we had to say goodbye. The moral of the story is, now that I know I am capable of feeling that way, you see, I had convinced myself that there was something wrong with me, that I was incapable of feeling real love for a significant other. Now I know better. I couldn't continue in my relationship with H knowing, not only can I not feel that way for him, but I do feel that way for someone else. It wouldn't be fair to either of us, and eventually I would hate myself for not taking the chance, and resent H for staying in a relationship with him for the sake of, what? Just to stay married. Anyway, it all happened rather quickly, but I've never been sure of anything in my life. So, I am currently looking for a job and I'm filing when I get back from NY. H knows, I told him right away. It's been up and down. We had a big fight the other night, but we're going to do our best to get along and work together to do what's best for the kids. We haven't told them yet. They're my last and most difficult hurdle. I'm terrified what this may do to them. This last year has been hell with oldest son. All sorts of crap going on with him. He's just now starting to get better, but I'm afraid this will throw him into another episode. End of email. Yeah, I am not going to say anything about this email, other than the part about telling me right away. She didn't sugarcoat anything. I haven't talked to this guy in even longer than her and he is closer to her anyway. Of course, his response was that she was doing the right thing and deserved to be happy. I am focusing on our close friends, the ones who will hold her accountable and help me fight for this marriage. She has been open and honest with me regarding her feelings, but she also said that she would never leave in this manner. She said that if she couldn't do it anymore, she would just leave, but she would never walk out to be with someone else. I know, I am a fool for believing her, but for the last couple years she has really been putting in the effort and I was starting to trust her. Misplaced trust. He hit her up on FB a few days before they met up. The fact of the matter is, she has not been happy for a long time and wanted to move on but didn't know how. She thought she could stay with me and her feelings would change, like she was going through a phase. She thinks she has something with this guy that she missed 17 years ago and it is her way out. Not much I can do now except protect myself and my kids. Don't get me wrong, I am not just giving up, but I need to protect myself and my kids. I will continue to act as an honorable man and set an example for my kids. If she comes out of the fog before doing anything that completely breaks off our chance of I will be here to work on it with her, with stipulations. Her feelings for me are not going to change anytime soon, if ever. I will not be a doormat for her, but I will leave the door open if she wants to come back in. No changes. She still talks to other men every day. About a week ago she talked to her dad again and he laid into her. He is not accepting this and told her she is making a huge mistake and is destroying her family for nothing. She obviously did not like that. We went to a paralegal service that handles uncontested divorces. She put up the $650 for their service and will pay the filing fees. They gave us a packet to fill out that will give them the info to draw up the legal documents. They will then file the paperwork and after 90 days it will be final. That was 2 weeks ago and we still haven't sat down to fill everything out. She keeps saying we need to do it but then has plans to go out with her mom, or the 21-year-old girl she made friends with from college, etc. She won't call or go see any of our regular friends because she knows they will not agree with what she is doing. We told the kids a week ago and they were devastated. You could see by the look in their eyes that their world was destroyed. We are maintaining a working relationship and are in agreement that we need to be on the same page when it comes to the kids. They are handling it as well as can be expected but have expressed sadness and anger. We had reserved a campsite for this past weekend a couple months ago, so we went camping with some friends. The boys had a good time. She was shopping for the camping trip and got a call from her dad that her grandma had died. She was extremely upset and ended up coming home from shopping before she was done. She did not feel up to going camping and wanted to stay home, so I called her dad, who lives very close, and told him, and he said she should come over and spend the evening with him and his friends and her brother and his GF. I finished the shopping, packed up the car, and went camping with the boys. The plan was that her dad would drive her to us the next day. That didn't happen. She went over there and he started laying into her about the situation again and she got pissed and left. The campsites aren't too far from where we live, so I came back and picked her up. She said she is not going to take that from him, and if their relationship changes over this then she will be sad, but oh well. She is a daddy's girl. She has been so close to him and this is so unlike her. She is not only throwing her marriage away, but also going to throw away any relationship that doesn't agree with what she is doing. At this point I am just trying to minimize the damage to my kids and myself. She is still on board with split custody and no child or spousal support, so I am going to fill out the paperwork without her and write up the parenting plan and financial plan so we can get this filed with that arrangement. She is making her bed and is not going to like how it feels when she wakes up from this nightmare. I also went to a therapist to try to cope with all of this, hoping that helps. I am past trying to save anything. Everything is out in the open and it has had no effect on anything. Her mom supports her, her dad doesn't, and most all of our friends that know and her other family have told her everything from that she is a piece of crap to that they don't think she is making a good choice. Life goes on. My comment, part 2 will come tomorrow. We will find out if OP does the right thing tomorrow. Subscribe right now and you will see the update very soon.